वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदा सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषः शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशकारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरतिसे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकाकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे विमलाभुवनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी नमामि हरिप्रिये वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, 4th chapter, Transcendental Knowledge, text 10. Yes? वितराग भय क्रोध मन्मया माम उपासितः बहवो ज्ञान तपसा मद्भावम् आगतः वीतराग भय क्रोध मन्मया माम उपासितः बहवो ज्ञान तपसा भूता मद्भावम् आगतः वीतराग भय क्रोध मन्मया माम उपासितः बहवो ज्ञान तपसा भूता मद्भावम् आगतः वीतराग भय क्रोध मन्मया माम उपासितः बहवो ज्ञान तपसा भूता मद्भावम् आगतः वीतराग भय क्रोध मन्मया माम उपासितः बहवो ज्ञान तपसा भूता मद्भावम् आगतः वीतराग भय क्रोध मन्मया माम उपासितः बहवो ज्ञान तपसा भूता मद्भावम् आगतः वीतराग भय क्रोध
मन्मया मामुपाश्रिता बहवो ज्ञानतपसा माताजी वितराग भयक्रोधा मन्मया मामुपाश्रिता बहवो ज्ञानतपसा भावमागतः वितराग भयक्रोधा मन्मया मामुपाश्रिता बहवो ज्ञानतपसा Word meaning. Vitaha, freed from. Raga, attachment. Bhaya, fear. Krodha, and anger. Matmaya, fully in me. Mam, in me. Upasitaha, being fully situated. Bahavaha, many. Jnana, of knowledge. Tapasa, by the penance. Kutaha, being purified. Matbhavam, transcendental love for me. Agataha, attend. Translation and purport by Divine Grace Sabhai Charana Arvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki translation. Being freed from attachment, fear and anger, being fully absorbed in me and taking refuge in me, many persons in the past become purified by knowledge of me, and thus they all attain transcendental love for me. Please repeat. Being free from attachment, fear and anger, being fully absorbed in me and taking refuge in me. Many persons in the past became purified by knowledge of me, and thus they all attain transcendental love for me. Purport. As described above, it is very difficult for a person who is too materially affected to understand the personal nature of the Supreme Absolute Truth. Generally, people who are attached to the bodily conception of life are so absorbed in materialism that it is almost impossible for them to understand how the Supreme can be a person. Such materialists cannot even imagine that there is a transcendental body which is imperishable, full of knowledge and eternally blissful. In the materialistic concept, the body is perishable, full of ignorance and completely miserable. Therefore, people in general keep this same bodily idea in mind when they are informed of the personal form of the Lord. For such a materialistic man, the form of the gigantic material manifestation is supreme. Consequently, they consider the Supreme to be impersonal, and because they are too materially absorbed in the conception of retaining the personality after liberation from matter frightens them. When they are informed that spiritual life is also individual and personal, they become afraid of becoming person again, and so they naturally prefer a kind of merging into the impersonal void. Generally, they compare the living entities to the bubbles of the ocean, which merge into the ocean. That is the highest perfection of spiritual existence, attainable without individual personality. This is a kind of fearful stage of life devoid of the perfect knowledge of spiritual existence. Furthermore, there are many persons who cannot understand spiritual existence at all, being embarrassed by so many theories and by contradictions for various types of philosophical speculation. They become disgusted or angry and foolishly conclude that there is no supreme cause and that everything is ultimately void. Such people are in diseased condition of life. Some people are too materially attached and therefore do not give attention to spiritual life. Some of them want to merge into the supreme spiritual cause, and some of them disbelieve in everything, being angry at all sorts of spiritual speculations out of hopelessness. This last class of men take to the shelter of some kind of intoxication, and their effective hallucinations are sometimes accepted as spiritual vision. One has to get rid of all three stages of attachment to the material world: negligence of the spiritual life, fear of spiritual personal identity, and the conception of void that arises from the frustration in life. To get free from these three stages of material concept of life, one is to take complete shelter of the Lord, guided by the bona fide spiritual master, and follow the disciplines and regulatory principles of devotional life. The last stage of devotional life is called bhava, or transcendental love for Godhead. According to Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1:4-15-16, the science of devotional service: आदौ श्रद्धा ततः साधु संग अतः भजन क्रिया ततो अनर्थ निवृत्ति स्यात् ततो निष्ठा रुचि ततः अथा शक्ति ततो भावस् ततः प्रेमा अभिव्यञ्जति साधकानां वयं प्रेम्णः प्रादुर्भावे भवेत् क्रमः. In the beginning, one must have a preliminary desire for self-realization. This will bring one to the stage of trying to associate with persons who are spiritually elevated. In the next stage, one becomes initiated by an elevated spiritual master, and under his instruction, the neophyte devotee begins the process of devotional service. By execution of devotional service under the guidance of the spiritual master, one becomes free from all material attachment, attains steadiness in self-realization, and acquires a taste for hearing about the absolute personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. This taste leads one further forward to attachment for Krishna consciousness, which is matured in bhava, or the preliminary stage of transcendental love of Godhead. Real love of God is called prema, the highest perfectional stage of life. In the prema stage, there is constant engagement in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. So by the slow process of devotional service, under the guidance of bona fide spiritual master, one can attain the high stage, being freed from all material attachment, from the fearfulness of one's individual spiritual personality, and from the frustration that results void philosophy. Then one can ultimately attain to the abode of the Supreme Lord. Hare Krishna. वितराग भय क्रोध मन्मयाः मामुपाश्रितः बहवो ज्ञान तपसा उता मद्भावमागतः. Being freed from attachment, fear and anger, being fully absorbed in me and taking refuge in me, many persons in the past become purified by knowledge of me, and thus they all attain transcendental love for me. So, the end of third chapter, Krishna explained Abruta Jnanametena Jnanina Nitya Vairina Kama Rupena Kaunteya Daskurena Nalina Cha. The last is the enemy which covers the knowledge. Last covers knowledge. because of so many lusty desires, we cannot decide what is proper and what is improper. So it is mentioned there that Krishna is telling the lusty desires of lust covers knowledge. And then he told, due to ignorance we commit many sinful activities. And ignorance binds us in this material world, in cycle of birth and death. So then he asked Arjuna, in order to follow this Niskama Karma Yoga, this is the beginning of the 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita specifically deals with Niskama Karma Yoga. So you perfectly performing your duties, you must have knowledge. Jnana Sanchirna Sansayam. All the doubts can be eradicated by transcendental knowledge. So that's why in this beginning of this 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, that is entitled Transcendental Knowledge, the first 10 verses, our acharyas they make different divisions of this chapter. So first 10 verses are described about the transcendental knowledge about Krishna. So Krishna explained from the very beginning what is the source of transcendental knowledge. Then he told he himself is the source of all knowledge. Krishna explained from the beginning of this chapter that in the beginning of creation he gave this transcendental knowledge to Sun God Vivaswana. Emang Vaivaswate Jogan Praktavan Aham Abhyayam Vivaswani Manava Braha Manu Ichyaku Abravit. This knowledge Krishna told I gave to Sun God Vivaswana, and Vivaswana gave this knowledge to his son Manu, Vaivaswata Manu, and Vaivaswata Manu gave this knowledge to Ichyaku. In this way, this transcendental knowledge came in proper parampara. This is parampara of the Rajarshis. This come to this material world. And then Krishna told, because this knowledge is almost lost from this human society, so I am again giving this knowledge to you because you are my friend and you are my devotee. Sakha Bhakta Asime Sakha Cheti Rahasyam Heturuttamam. This knowledge I am giving to you because you are my devotee and you are my friend. Then Arjuna asked, how you are just my relative, you are son of my uncle. And you telling me you are giving this knowledge to son God Vivaswana, how it is possible, how can I believe it? So then Krishna told that there are so many times he has come, and Arjuna also took so many births, and specifically Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he come to this material world every millennium, after millennium, at least once in day of a Brahma. He appeared in this material world. What is the purpose? Paritranaya sadhunam vinasaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami juge juge. What is dharma samsthapanarthaya? As hearing yesterday the lecture on Srila Prabhupada's lecture on this verse, Prabhupada is telling dharma samsthapana means what? Dharma samsthapana means to preach this Krishna consciousness, to the love of Godhead. We start to we have forgotten about the Krishna and our real connection with Him. What is the goal of our life? So that is why Krishna appeared in every millennium after millennium, not only just to kill the demons, but to protect the devotees. But what is Dharma Samsthapana? Dharma Samsthapana means to preach the Krishna consciousness, specifically to establish the real Dharma, that is Jiver Swarup Hai Krishna Nitya Das. To love of Godhead, that is Krishna try to perform his pastimes and attract the conditioned living entities towards him. So in this way, Dharma Samsthapanarthaya. And specifically yesterday the verse before this verse, text 9 of this chapter is most important. verse. In whole Bhagavad Gita, maybe there is few verses is called, and most important verses, one of such important verses, Janma Karma Jame Divyam Evam Javati Tattvatah Tyaktva Deham Punarjanma Naiti Mameti So Arjuna. One time Prabhupada asked his disciples, what is the most important verse in Bhagavad Gita? So many devotees told so many verses, but finally Prabhupada told this verse. This is the most important verse because this verse is telling or showing us the way how to attain perfection of life, how to return back to Godhead. He can return back to Godhead who accepts this truth, Janma Karma Chame Divyam, who understands the appearance and transcendental activities of the Lord under proper guidance of a spiritual master who understands this truth properly, then he can achieve the love of Godhead, and this way he can return back to Godhead. So this today's verse is specifically also telling how one can attain the pure love of Godhead and by Vita Raga Bhaya Krodha Manmaya Mam Upasitah, being freed from attachment, fear and anger, being fully absorbed in me, and then taking refuge in me. The next line is telling Bhava Jnana Tapasa Putamad Bhavamagatam. There is many persons in the past become purified by knowledge of me, and thus they attain transcendental love of me. But Prabhupada is telling, though this is in positive way, this is the translation, but in negative way you can see who cannot achieve pure love of Godhead. That is Raga, Bhaya, Krodha. Vita Raga, Bhaya, Krodha. That is those who don't have these three things, they can achieve pure love of Godhead. But in contradiction, Raga means attachment. If someone is attached to this material world for sense gratification, he is too much attached for sense gratification. That is like Govinda Das, he sings in this famous bhajan, Bhajo Ure Mana Nanda. E dhana jaubana putra parijana ithe ki ache parati tire bifale se vinu kripana durjana chapala sukha labha lagire. Ane Kamala dala dala jivana talamala bhajahu haripada. He told, I just served whole life, my family relations and all this so-called for sense gratification. And there is no hope. But I don't think that all these family members, all my relatives, all this, they can help me in my spiritual life for my path of love of Godhead. This lifespan is very short. It's just like on a lotus leaf, there is a drop of water on lotus leaf, and it's just always dwindling here, then any moment can fall down. Similarly, our life can finish at any moment, no guarantee. We see this new government in Delhi come. One minister was just appointed one day, then next one day after he died. He was going to attend a marriage. There is a huge people, thousands of people, they are just waiting for him. They have to observe a festival for him. And he was coming to fly for the airport, and in between he had an accident, left his body. So his life is like that. Any moment one can die. So Govinda is telling is Kamala dala dala jivana talamala bhajahu haripada. We have to start our bhajan, our devotional service from the very moment when we get this knowledge. The goal of life is to attain the love of Godhead or please Krishna, Guru and Krishna. But there is certain people, they are so much engrossed in material sense gratification. Their life just like the life of an ass or camel. Prabhupada gave sometimes an example. Or otherwise in this verse in 7th chapter, that who are not take shelter of Krishna. Namang dustutina mula prapadyanti naradama maya pahuta jnana asuri bhavasita. These people, they cannot take shelter of the Supreme Lord. They work day and night like asses. For what? For money. Money is sweeter than honey and brighter than sunshine. For such people, they work so hard day and night, and you ask them, come to temple, or you try to teach them Krishna consciousness, they told, we don't have any time. We don't have any time. They have time for everything, but they don't have time for hearing about Krishna or chanting about Krishna. So this is the people, those are too much materially engrossed or materially attached to their family, society, in the name of so many isms. For a family, some things I am doing for welfare of, for working for the family. Little ahead, some things I am working for my village. Then some things I working for my district, for my state, for my country. And some I am working for the peace of world, like this. But all these people, they are in ignorance. They don't know what is the goal of life. Jasmin tushte, jagat tushte. By simply by pleasing Krishna, one can please everyone. But this simple truth they could not understand. These people are gross materialists. And the next category is mentioned here. Prabhupada wrote there three types according to this verse also. Raga, Vita Raga, Bhaya. Some people are always remain fearful. Why they become fearful? Because they did not understand that there is a transcendental body of the Lord. How it is, what is the difference between material body and transcendental body? They could not understand. They don't believe how it is. They think as we have a material body of these 5 elements, earth, water, air, fire and ether. So when Lord himself appeared in this material world, they thought that his body also with these 5 things. That's why in chapter 11, verse Krishna told, Avajananti mang mudha manusim tonamasritam parang bhava majananta mavabhuta maheswaram. When Krishna, Rama, they appeared, they looks outwardly just like a human being. But actually their body is not like our body, made of 5 elements, of this material elements. It's transcendental. Even a living entity, when he perfected his life by achieving love of Godhead and he returned back to Godhead, then there also he achieved a spiritual body. They don't understand these things. That's why when they get this knowledge by reading our Vaishnava literature, Prabhupada books, that after leaving this spiritual body, after death, also will attend another body. So when heard about body, they become very fearful, because they have experienced in this lifetime so much suffering due to this body. Adhyatmic, Adhibhautik and Adhidaivik places. They suffer 3 kinds of miseries. So they thought this body is the cause of all miseries. So better to not to have any body, right? Just to merge into Brahman. So that's why they think this Mayavadi philosophy is okay. Aham Brahmasmi, Jagat Mithya, Brahman Satya. So these people, they don't want to have any body after this life. They thought, we don't want anybody anymore. We just merge into the Brahma Jyoti. Prabhupada gave an example in his purport about just like the bubbles on ocean. These people thought it's like bubbles are around on the waves of ocean, and they merge into the ocean water. Similarly, when living entity is just marked with Brahman, with his Jyoti, then everything is finished. He will free from all types of miseries. That is the Mayavad philosophy. Because this type of people, they don't have any knowledge about spiritual body, about spiritual sky. They think everything is here. So this type of people, they also did not take shelter of the Lord. Because they become very fearful when they hear about another body. Jatasya dhruva mrityu dhruva janma mrityusya. After death, then you get another body, they become very fearful. They don't want anybody after leaving this body. But they could not understand that how devotees, those who perform pure devotional service, after leaving this body, they attend a spiritual body, transcendental body, then transform to the spiritual sky. Jadgatva nivartanti tadhama paramang mama. The Krishna told that after attending that abode of mind, then they never come back to this material world again in the cycle of birth and death. So they are not ready to discuss all these things, to understand all these things. They are simply fearful. We don't want any more body. We want to finish this body, then we just merge in Brahman. So these type of peoples, they cannot take shelter of Krishna. They don't want to understand Krishna consciousness. They don't want to associate with the devotees. They think Mayavad philosophy is better philosophy. And there is third category is those who have Vitaraga, Bhaya, Krodha. Krodha, they become always in angry mood. They are proud of this material knowledge. They spend most of their times in speculation, in thinking, reading so many literatures, discussing so many idioms, so many philosophical discussions, all this like this. Then finally they get frustrated, and they thought it's better. They are nothing. Everything is void. They take shelter of Charbak Muni's philosophy. Rinam kritva, dhritam pibet, javot jivet, sukham jivet, bhasmi bhutasya dehasya, kutah punaragamanam bhavet. They thought everything is here, thus finished. As long as you are in this body, try to enjoy yourself as much as possible. Sense gratification. Who knows after leaving this body what happened? Don't think about what after leaving this what will happen. As long as you are in this body, if you have money, or if you don't have money, then you try to acquire somehow or other money. By any means you can acquire money. You can borrow from others, steal from others. Then you drink ghee. But that he was a rishi in Vedic Yoga, so he is telling to drink ghee. Prabhupada wrote in purport, these type of people, they take some kinds of intoxicants, like LSD or something. Then think a transcendental vision. Then when by taking some intoxicants, they thought we have some experience about God. We see some supreme light or something. So these people finally told everything is void. They don't take shelter of the Supreme Lord. But anyway, if this any kinds of person is three types of peoples, whether he is gross materialist, or a impersonalist, or a voidist, somehow or other, if they take shelter of a spiritual master, get a proper spiritual master like Srila Prabhupada, in parampara take initiation, Adho Guru Padasraya, Sadharma Prucha, Sadhu Marganu Gamanam, that is Rupa Goswami is telling in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu process, they can change their life. They can again become a devotee and achieve love of Godhead. There are many examples. That is Krishna is telling, Bahava Jnana Tapasa Utamad Bhavamagataha. Many persons in the past become purified by knowledge of me, and thus they all attain the transcendental love of me. Today is just this appearance day of Ganda Mata Goswami. You can see example of her life. She was a princess. She was a daughter of King Naresh Narayan in Rajsai. Now it is in Bangladesh, Rajsai district, Putia. She was the only daughter of King Naresh Narayan, And his parents, when from very childhood, says Ganga Mata Goswami was very detached for material world. She was not mixing with materialistic peoples, worshipping Radha Krishna from his very childhood. And when she became young, their father was thinking, parents thinking for her marriage. And many young princes, neighboring states, they are all aspiring to get Sachi. Her name that time was Sachi, as their wife. But when their father and mother of Sachi, they tried to arrange some marriage proposals. Then she frankly told, I am not going to marry any person since the material world having this body of flesh, bones and stools, urines, all these things. I don't want to marry any such. I having a long mustache of this so-called human being called himself as Purusa. I don't want to marry anyone in this material world. My eternal husband is Shyama Sundar Krishna. Forget about any other husband. I am not going to marry. So their parents, finally, they could not do anything. In this way, their parents were expired. Then whole the responsibility of ruling the kingdom come to Sachi. Successfully few years she ruled the kingdom, but her mind was always fixed at the lotus feet of Krishna. She was thinking how to give up this material attachment, how to get rid from this material world, how to find a spiritual master, how can he attain the love of Godhead, that is the goal of her life. One day she thus hand over his kingdom to his relatives and his ministers. Then a clue for I am going for some pilgrimage to visit some holy places. With few intimate associates, she just left her kingdom and come to Jagannath Puri. Then she prayed to Jagannath, Lord Jagannath, for a spiritual master. He told, oh Lord, I don't know who is your pure devotee, but you know who is your pure devotee and who can act as my spiritual master. I don't want to accept any cheater as my spiritual master. But you know who is such a guru. And he fasted for many days and just cried before Jagannath, and finally Jagannath told in dream, you go to Vrindavan, you will find your guru there. So finally Ganga Mata Goswami, that time her name was Sachi Devi. She came to Vrindavan, and after consulting many Vaishnavas here, she could understand there is a personality, Pandit Haridas is the worshipper of Radha Govinda Dev, the beloved deity of Rupa Goswami. That time she was taking care of Radha Govinda Dev, and she was very famous devotee those days in Brajan. And everyone suggested Sachi to take initiation from Haridas Pandit. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami gave the who is Haridas, he described about Haridas Pandit. Pandita Gosai Shishya Ananta Acharya Tahara a Priya Shishya Pandita Haridasa. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami tell Pandita Gosai means Gadadhar Pandit. Gadadhar Pandit's disciple was Ananta Acharya, and Ananta Acharya's disciple was Pandit Haridas. And Pandit Haridas also aspired Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami to write Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Pandit Haridas, so Ganga Mata Goswami with her associates has come. She was a princess, like she was a king, having dressed herself as a queen with so many golden ornaments and bodyguards and many associates, servants. She approached Haridas Pandit. Haridas Pandit frankly told, you are a princess, you are so much materially attached to this material world, your dress and your all these things are just I could understand you are completely in sense gratification. So you are not qualified to become my disciple. This people those who have practiced this Krishna consciousness, that is the path of renunciation. That is like Tyaktva Turna Sesa Mandalapati Sening Sada Tuchyavat Bhutva Dina Ganeshakai Karunaya Gaupina Kanthasita. He explained them how Goswamis came to Vrindavan. There also, like kings, Rupa and Sanatan, they are ministers of Hussain Shah's kingdom and how these peoples, they renounced everything and come here following the instruction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga Sikhyarthamekam Purusa Prana Shri Krishna Chaitanya Sariradhari Kutam Buddhide Tamaham Prapadde. Lord Chaitanya himself appeared to teach this Vairagya Vidya. So you are not qualified to remind yourself, better you return back to your kingdom and rule your kingdom, stay there peacefully and chant Hare Krishna. But Ganga Mata Goswami or Sachi Devi, she could understand, but she was determined to accept Haridas Pandit as her spiritual master. Finally she sent all her bodyguard assistants to go return back to their own kingdom and Rasai district. Then she remained alone. Then she gave up all her ornaments of the golden, her helmets, everything, distributed in temples and to the Brahmanas, Vaishnavas. And finally he took one sari and then he turned out old sari. Then he started begging Madhukari, going door to door. Every day, 7 days, she go to whatever they get the grain from the 7 doors, then he cook that grain with Jamuna water and just offer to Krishna. And started practice great austerity. After maybe 2-3 years, she became completely thin. And in night, she used to sleep in just bank of Jamuna. In daytime, he will come to serve Govinda Dev's temple, clean the temples, all these things every day to pay obeisances to his aspiring spiritual master. And paying obeisances and goes. Like this, after 3-4 years, seeing her renunciation, then Haridas Pandit finally one day called her and accepted her as his dear disciple. And then he told, okay, you go to Radhakund, there is one of my disciples staying with her name is Lakshmi Priya. Lakshmi Priya. So you stay with Lakshmi Priya and both of you do bhajan together and every day must circumambulate Govardhan Hill. So after like 2 years they practice this. 2 years they just every day chanting more than 2 lakh names and circumambulating Govardhan Hill. Then after 2-3 years again Haridas Pandit called Sachi, because Sachi was a learned scholar also. From her very beginning she learned Sanskrit, because Sanskrit, and she read all the Goswami literatures. So Haridas Pandit told, you better go to Jagannath Puri, because there Jagannath, after Lord Chaitanya disappeared and his associates all disappeared. This is no one is preaching Krishna consciousness, the philosophy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Puri now. So you should go to Puri and preach Krishna consciousness there. You must stay in Sabham Bhattacharya's house there and you every day give classes on Srimad Bhagavatam. Every day give Bhagavatam class. And that is, I think, the desire of Lord Chaitanya. And that's why within myself I am feeling this to study. You go. Though Sachi was very attached to Vrindavan and Radhakund, she was doing Govardhan Pratap, but taking the order of her spiritual master, she left Brajabhumi, then went to Puri, and she was staying in Sarva Bhattacharya's house, and it was almost broken, old house, but still following Guru's instructions, stayed there, and he worshipping every day Salagram of Sarva Bhattacharya Damodar Salagram. And following Guru's instructions, she started giving classes on Srimad Bhagavatam every day. Beginning maybe 3, 4, 5 people came, but gradually she described Srimad Bhagavatam so nicely, so authentically, following the Acharya's commentaries. Finally, the listeners followed more and more. Like it is told that even the people from 20 kilometers away, they were coming to her and listen her Bhagavatam discourse. And finally the king of Puri, that time was Mukunda Dev, he also came to hear her discourse. She was so much influenced by hearing such classes, such wonderful classes. He told, you should not go to do Madhukari for maintaining yourself. Now I will make a very nice, beautiful home for you, very, very beautiful building. I will construct for you. I will arrange all your necessities, your clothing, your foodings, your everything. you stay comfortably here. But Ganga, that time Sachi did not accept anything. Visay arna khaile malina hai man, malina mana haile na he Krishna ra smaran. Like Jagannath Das Goswami rejected all the offerings of his own father. Similarly, Ganga Nesari, Sachi Devi, she rejected all kings of her. But still king was coming to hearing Bhagavatam from her. One day, that was like today is Ganga Dasahara. Many people goes to Ganga to take bath. When she was in Bengal, in her childhood, many times she also went to Ganges to take bath. There is Mahabaruni Yoga, special tithi to take bath in Ganges. So one desire come within her heart, I may go to take bath in Ganges. But next moment she thought, oh, there is no instruction such from my Guru Maharaj. He never told me to go to Bengal for taking bath in Ganges. He gave me this service to stay in Jagannath Puri and preach Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's philosophy to everyone. I cannot go. But internally she is little disturbed. So in night, Lord Jagannath came to her dream. Lord Jagannath told, Sachi, why you are so morose? You are such a devotee, there is no necessary you go to see Ganga or to take bath in Ganges. Rather, Ganga is always searching your lotus feet, to wash your lotus feet. You, that is Narsundartam Das Thakur says, Gangara parasa haile paschate pavana darsane pavitra karo ye tumara. That is the special quality of a Vaishnava. So, Jagannath told, today in midnight will come to the Sweta Ganga. Sarvam Bhattacharya's house just on the bank of Sweta Ganga. This is also Ganga, non different from the original Ganga. You come and just take bath and Ganga is waiting for you. Ganga Devi herself waiting there for you. Touch your lotus feet. So hearing Jagannath's message in dream, she woke up in midnight. After midnight she just came. And just touching the water of Sweta Ganga, immediately there is just like big wave. Come, just forward Sachi Devi. And just drag her up. She could not understand where is she now. Just swimming on the huge water. And this water took her inside Jagannath temple on the feet of Lord Jagannath. Because Ganga is emanating from the feet of Krishna or Jagannath. And there she saw thousands and thousands people are taking bath and this tumultuous sound. Everywhere chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. There's big sound inside altar, Jagannath temple. But the Chaukidars, the guards, they are outside the door. Why this is so much sound inside Jagannath temple in midnight? What happened? They gave the message to king. The king comes, somehow they open the doors and finally they found Ganga Mata Goswami standing in front of Lord Jagannath alone. So they thought, she entered this, how is she enter inside temple? So many gates, every gate was locked. But final Pandals, their nature, they shouted that this lady definitely come to steal Jagannath's ornaments. So like this, the Ganga Mata not telling anything. That time her name was such still. She was just standing and tears flowing from her eyes, just meditating on Jagannath. But they could not understand anything. He was not believing. He told, how is she such a lady? I personally went to listen her classes. How she could come to steal Jagannath's ornaments? It is not possible. There must be some other reason. But because there so many Pandas were shouting, the king cannot do anything, just they arrest Ganga Mata and they put just in jail. Somewhere to after they will verify all the cases king told will. But that night Jagannath came in very furious in dream to the king. Told you, how you dare to arrest my devotee? You don't know. I will finish you. I will kill all your pandas, all your followers. Immediately you go personally and just make her free in your own hand and fall down and pay obeisances to that devotee of mine. to Sachi and beg forgiveness. That is not at all, this is not everything. You become personally his disciple, take initiation from her. And all these pandas, those who blasphemed her, unless they go there and beg forgiveness and become her disciple, they will not be excused from me. Jagannath was shouting. So the king just woke up. And then he just trembling, and he personally come to jail and just in his own hand he made free Ganga Mata Goswamini. Just immediately pay her full Dandavat Pranam and told her what happened, how Jagannath came in dream and described everything. Jagannath told, I personally brought her to my lotus feet. She had a desire to take bath in Ganges. So I ordered Ganga. Ganga personally brought her to my, you do not know, I thinking I am just a what? Wooden dog or something. I am Daru Brahma, and from my lotus feet Ganga is flowing. You should understand this. Shastra is to king. So finally, the whole Puri now, everyone understands the glorification and the glories of Ganga Mata Goswamini. So from that day, she was no more remain as Sachi Devi. Everyone called her as Ganga Mata Goswamini. Because king of Puri, Mukunda Dev himself become her disciple. King become her disciple, and thousands of people come for take initiation from her. She become a big acharya those days. Just like after Jannaha Mata, she performed this role of an acharya in the Gaudiya Sampradaya. So that is Ganga Mata Goswamini. And she got one Brahman from Rajasthan. He came to Puri. She is deity. He was thinking how she was now become old, how to worship this deity, Shamarai. So the Shamarai in dream told, you give me to this Ganga Mata Goswamini. She will take care of me. I want to be worshipped by her. So when the Brahmana took the deity to Ganga Mata Goswami told, no, I don't have time to take. I have already so many deities here in Sarovatacha's house. So finally the Brahmana left the deity in just when there a big dry tulsi and just in underneath tulsi tree, just left. So Shamarai stayed there 2-3 days, and he gave a call in dream to Ganga Mata Goswami. My servant, this Brahmana servant already left me here. For 2-3 days I did not drink any water, not yet. How you have to take care of me. Finally Sachi take care of the deity. This Shamarai deity is still there in Sarovatacha's house, Damodar Shila. In this way, Ganga Mata Goswamini, according to this verse, we can see how that Krishna is telling Bhava Jnana Tapasa. Bhava Jnana Tapasa Utamad Bhava Agataha. Many persons in the past become purified by knowledge of me, and thus they all attain the transcendental love for me. This one example is Ganga Mata Goswamini, how she developed and they get a spiritual master, and gradually how she come to the topmost platform of achieving love of Godhead, and Krishna himself recognized her, and she come to the topmost platform of a pure devotional service. Similarly, today is also this happiness day of Baladev Vidyabhushan Thakur. So it's already time, I think. I will speak about the Vidyabhushan, it will be very long. I will speak something or stop here. Okay. So similarly you see Baladev Vidyabhushan, this Bhagavad Gita was dedicated to him. To whom? Baladev Vidyabhushan. Srila Prabhupada dedicated different books to different, like Bhagavatam he dedicated to his spiritual master, and he dedicated Krishna book to his father, and he dedicated this Bhagavad Gita as it is to Baladev Vidyabhushan. Who is Baladev Vidyabhushan? He is the Acharya of this Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. Before him, the other Sampradaya, specifically the Ramanuja Sampradaya and the Madhva Sampradaya, the Tattvavadis, they are not agreed to accept this Gaudiya Sampradaya of Gauranga Mahaprabhu as a Pramanik Sampradaya. They are thinking what type of Sampradaya this is. They have no any Vedanta Bhashya, because according to Padma Purana, there is only 4 sampradayas. The Sri Sampradayas, Brahma Sampradayas, Kumara Sampradayas and Rudra Sampradaya. So Ramanuja Acharya is the Acharya for Sri Sampradaya, Madhavacharya is the Sampradaya for Brahma Sampradaya, Kumara Sampradaya Acharya is Nimbarka Acharya, and Rudra Sampradaya Acharya is Vishnu Swami. And this Gaudiya Sampradaya, they told that we are following Madhavacharya, but Madhavacharya told that Narayana is the Supreme. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told who is Supreme? Krishna is Supreme. Madhava Sampradaya, there is only Krishna Vigraha is worshipped in Udupi. No Radharani is there. They don't worship Radharani. They worship Krishna, Rukmani or Krishna, Satyabhama or only Krishna. So they are telling this Gaudiya Vaishnava is telling we are following Madhavacharya, but they are not following Madhavacharya's Tattvavada philosophy. They have their own philosophy. So what type of Vaishnava they are? So they are thinking like that. So that's why those days in Jaipur, Radha Govinda Dev was worshipped by Gaudiya Vaishnavas because the king of Jaipur, Mansingh, he took initiation from Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. Raghunath Bhatta Goswami was specifically famous for his Bhagavad discourses. Among 6 Goswamis, the Chaitanya empowered different Goswamis on different fields. For Bhakti, Rupa Goswami, for specifically the Vaidhi Bhakti, all these things, Samanta Jnana is Sanatana Goswami. For deity worship, Gopal Bhatta. For renunciation, Raghunath Das. And like this, Raghunath Bhatta was specifically empowered for Srimad Bhagavatam. When Goswamis were hearing Bhagavatam, Raghunath Bhatta will discuss Bhagavatam. He will sit in Vyasasana and discuss Bhagavatam. So Raghunath Bhatta's disciple was Raja Mansingh. Raja Mansingh's son was Jai Singh, and Jai Singh was those days king of Jaipur. And this Sampradaya Vaishnavas, they come to king and challenge him. How you took initiation from this Sampradaya? This Gaudiya Vaishnava, this is not Pramanic Sampradaya. They have no, they are not belongs to any 4 Sampradayas. We do have the Pramanic Sampradayas. And how you are worshipping Radharani just to Krishna? There are no such description in Shastra for worshipping Radharani with Krishna. Though Madhavacharya worshipped Krishna in Udupi, but there is only Krishna, there is no Radharani. All these like this, they create so many grounds just to discuss Shastras, just to defeat the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. And they personally want to have take that seva of worshipping Radha Govinda Dev. So those days in Vrindavan, Vishwanath Chakravarti was staying, and Baladev Vidyavasana was hearing regularly from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Srimad Bhagavatam regularly, and he was his Sikha disciple. His Dikha disciple is from Shyamananda Sampradaya. Shyamananda Prabhu's disciple was Rasikananda disciple was Nayanananda disciple was Radha Damodar, and Radha Damodar's disciple was Baladev Vidyavasana. Baladev Vidyavasana, in the beginning he was born in Odisha, in Baleswar district near Kiruchara temple. About 1.5 kilometers from Kiruchara temple, the place is Kusumaswali village. That is Baladev Vidyavasana's village. Its birthplace is still there, and they have some festival every year, the appearance disappearance of Baladev Vidyavasana. So he was a Digvijay Pandit, and before becoming a Gaudiya Vaishnava, Baladev Vidyavasana was a sannyasi in Madhva Sampradaya. He is a great scholar before also. He read Sanskrit and he read many scriptures, all the Vedanta Bhashyas of all Acharyas. Then he famous as a Digvijay Pandit, defeated all the Mayavadis, established Madhva philosophy, Madhavacharya's philosophy everywhere. Finally come to Puri and he started hearing Satsandarbha of Jiva Goswami from Radha Damodar Goswami. Then he became influenced with the Gaudiya. He was attracted to Gaudiya philosophy. Finally gave up his Madhva's philosophy, Madhavacharya's sannyas, this Tridanda sannyas. Then he come to this Vaishnava Sampradaya, and again he get initiation from Radha Damodar Goswami. So in this way, taking permission from his guru, he came to learn Bhagavatam or Gaudiya philosophy more and more from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So when the king of Jaipur, he sent message to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, you come and save your Sampradaya, otherwise these people are giving me challenge so much. I have organized a Pandit Sabha. So you come personally or send your representative to argue with these Sri Sampradaya Vaishnavas. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur was very old. He could not move to Jaipur. So he sent Baladev Vidyabhushan to Jaipur to defeat those Sri Sampradaya Vaishnavas. Baladev Vidyabhushan was such a detached person, he was just wearing one lengutha, kaupin, and kaupina kantha se told. And one kantha, they turned out quilt, just made of it old clothes, just putting one on his shoulder and having a kaupin and a danda and commando. Seeing him from distance, the king of Jaipur thought, what, this man come here? How can he defeat all these peoples? He looks like a, what? Naga Baba, he just like, what type of, but when those other opponents, the Sri Sampradaya Vaishnava, they saw Baladev Vidyabhushan from a distance, they recognized him. This person is the same person who was a Digvijay Pandit before, from Madhva Sampradaya, and he was defeating everyone in all over India. And this person, how he come with these Gaudiya peoples? They were now in some anxiety. So anyhow, next day there Pandit Sabha, Raja, the king of Jaipur was thinking that now this Sri Sampradaya Vaishnava definitely take the seva of Govindadeva. How can this one person defeat these big Pandits? But when the argument started, Baladev Vidyabhushan cut all their arguments one after one after. He was finally that they defeated, but still that was no. Anyhow, we don't want to understand. You show us, if you are telling your Sampradaya is a Pramanik Sampradaya, then you show us the commentary on Vedanta Sutra, gave us the commentary on Bhagavad Gita, show us the commentary on Vishnu Sahasranam, and show us the commentary on 10 Upanishads. That is the criteria that one can claim himself as Acharya according to Padma Purana. So, a Sampradaya. So, Baladev Vidyabhushan told them that this Gauranga Mahaprabhu, who is none different from Krishna, Govindadev himself, he told the Srimad Bhagavatam is the natural commentary on Vedanta Sutra. But these Pandits, they don't accept. They told, we don't accept this. Because other acharyas, they gave their commentary on Vedanta Sutra. So then Baladev Vidyabhushan told, okay, within 7 days I am coming back. Then he just came and just pay full dandavat pranam to Govindadev and told, this is your Sampradaya. And why you are creating such situations with us? He gave up his eating and sleeping, just crying and praying to Govindadev. The Govindadev told, don't worry, you just sit down. I did all this situation just to glorify you. To glorify whom? Baladev Vidyabhushan. Just to recognize all Vaishnavas, the whole world should recognize you. That's why I have created this situation. You don't worry. Just sit with pen and paper. Whatever to write, I am just prompting you, write, just go on writing. No one can tell that this is not good. Everyone will accept whatever you write and show them commentary. No one, there will be finally no single opposition, because this is written by myself practically. So in this way, one time just like one journalist asked to Prabhupada, come to interview, Prabhupada told, Swamiji, how you wrote so many wonderful books? All the big scholars, they glorifying your books, their textbooks in some universities, every library likes your books. Prabhupada told, looks at him, he told, Krishna was prompting, I was writing. Journalist become, so what, Krishna prompting, Krishna is God. God was prompting, he is writing, how is it possible? Then Tamal Maharaj secretary just pinned up silence for a few minutes. Then he come and meditate, as a meditator, he told, actually Krishna is a God, he is residing in heart of all living entities, he is also within our Guru Maharaj's heart, the divine grace heart. And so from within, he inspired to speak Prabhupada and to write something, then he is writing. Prabhupada immediately shouted, don't speculate, I did not say this. Krishna was prompting, I was writing. So similarly, here you see how the acharyas, they write their books. It's not like if people having 4 defects of a conditioned soul, then they write some spiritual topics. Beginning of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Prabhupada wrote this. No one should write on spiritual topic unless he is free from 4 defects of a conditioned soul: cheating propensity, being illusioned by external energy, being imperfect senses, committing mistakes. So still people writing and having these 4 defects and write on the spiritual topics. How long these books will survive? Because these Prabhupada books, they are directly they are directly authorized by Krishna. Krishna was prompting, I was writing. That is Prabhupada told himself. Similarly, Baladev Vidyabhushan was writing. Who was prompting? Govinda Dev was prompting. This is Govinda Bhashya. Within 7 days he finished all his Bhashya, Vedanta Sutra, Bhagavad Gita, 10 Upanishads and Vishnu Sahasranam. And he come back to Pandit Sabha. He showed them all these things. The Pandits were, they could not believe how this person is right within 7 days, all these things. Now, because this is Govinda Dev himself, this is Baladev Vidyabhushan himself in end of his commentary of Govinda Bhashya, he told, it is directly prompted by whom? Govinda Dev. Govinda, the particular verse is not now I am reading it. Okay. So Govinda Dev is gave through making Baladev Vidyabhushan as a medium. He wrote all these things. So now the Pandits, they cannot tell that this is not authorized. They all defeated and they accepted all these commentaries of Baladev Vidyabhushan. Then they recognized that this Gaudiya Sampradaya is a authorized Sampradaya. Then they gave this title to Vidya. His name was not Vidyabhushan before, only Baladev. Now they gave this title, whole Pandit Sabha, with the presence of Jaipur king, they gave this title Vidyabhushan to Baladev Vidyabhushan. So then, according to the principles, when there is some Pandit Sabha, the Pandits, those who will be defeated from other Pandits, then they become his disciples. They have to surrender to him. Now all the Sri Sampradaya Pandits, there are so many Pandits, then the king told them, you have to now surrender to Baladev Vidyabhushan, become his disciple. So Baladev Vidyabhushan, but he was very humble. He told, no, I don't want to commit this Vaishnava aparadh. We accepted Sripad Ramanujacharya as an authority, as an acharya of a sampradaya, Sri Sampradaya. He was Sesa avatar in his, according to their sampradaya. We don't want to commit offense to him. But this Pandit, they should understand, Vaishnava means very humble. Tunadapi sunichena tororopi sahisuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. In this way, Baladev Vidyabhushan establishing this Gaudiya Sampradaya in a perfect position. Then he come back to Vrindavan. Then all the Brajavasis, they just become so happy. Particularly Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur just pushed his hand on the head of Baladev Vidyabhushan and blessed him. And after Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur disappeared after a few days, then he became the acharya of this sampradaya for many years. He was the leader of the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradayas. So today is his disappearance day. So there is disappearance or appearance, there is no difference for a Vaishnava. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, he doesn't see him who thinks that Vaishnavas die. Vaishnava never die. Where as long as they are living in this planet, they are engaged in preaching Krishna consciousness, the glory of the holy name, and after entering Nitya Leela, they again engaged themselves in service of Radha Krishna. Hare Krishna, it is a time over. So I just briefly told about Baladev Vidyabhushan.